positively towards its development. Because the most important reason you're at school is to be able to pass your exams and also be able to have what you require to pursue your career. And therefore, we want to look at how you can be able to balance the two, play your leadership roles, but also have academic excellence. And I have the right person to talk from experience. She has been the best student in the previously concluded mock graduation. She was able to score 4.9 CGPA. Julia Muhumza is my guest today. Julia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ivan. It was 4.91. The one weighs a lot, by the way.
It was 4.91. You can see the accuracy. You cannot miss out on the one point. Wow, that's amazing. How does it feel to be the best student all over in Makerere?
Yeah, it feels like you've excelled because then you're standing out. Everyone is recognizing you. But most on my side, it's just like satisfaction and fulfillment, knowing that yes, I put in the hard work. And I closed the first chapter in the very best way possible, like laying a strong foundation, a stepping stone for what next for me.
Is that something you expected, that you're certain by the time I graduate, I'm going to be having this kind of points?
In fact, I looked at more points. When I started my course and I realized I could
You looked at more points. How many were you looking at, Julia?
I wanted to set an academic record, yeah.
Wow.
And when I joined politics, it actually became a bit hard.
Okay, before we go that way, Julia, tell us about yourself.
I'm a 22-year-old, passionate about academics, economics, to be specific, and development, but development from the sense of economics, and I'm really passionate about leadership. I think my journey so far is being explained by academician, debater, leader.
Wow.
Anyone you meet, they'll tell you 3 things about me. I've excelled in debate, in leadership, and academics.
Amazing. So tell us about your childhood, the schools you went to, and how was it like?
I joined nursery, and that day I joined baby class. And I studied baby class for 1 day, the next day I was in middle class.
Are you for real?
And the last day I was in top class, the third day I was in top class.
How can that happen?
I think because I was too quick to learn, and my brother...
And you're able to learn in 1 day?
I'm the second born at home, So like growing up, like from my childhood, I liked like learning,
Wow.
So what my brother would do, I'll try to imitate. So by the time I joined nursery, I was like...
You already knew what...
And I was adapting so fast.
Okay.
And I remember they wanted to take me to P1, but I said I want to study top class because they graduate. They have gowns and capes.
Amazing.
So I studied top class, and then I moved on to primary 1. In fact, did I study P1? There's another class I skipped. So that's my primary. And then I went to Makinde Junior School. I first went to Mount Care, but I shifted.
So you studied from the same school, primary?
No, I studied from Mount Care, then I moved to Makinde Junior School.
Okay.
Then Makinde Junior School, I got 9 aggregates. I didn't perform so well.
It's first grade.
Then I moved to Mengo Senior School. I did O-level and A-level from Mengo. But while at Mengo, I got 12 in my senior 4, so they retained me on bursary. So since then, my parents have not been paying tuition.
So throughout your primary and high school?
Primary, they paid. High school from senior 4, senior 5, senior 6.
But you've been performing well throughout.
So that's when I actually started performing so well in Mengo. Senior 4, senior 5, senior 6. So in my form 6, I got 20 points.
Wow.
And I got government.
Amazing.
To study international business at MOOBS. So that's how I joined MOOBS. But most important, I should not leave out that I've been a leader since, like throughout, even
You've
in
been balancing the two.
Yes. Excelling for me, how it came back again in my life was a couple of friends. They were not my friends then, but they used to be read on assembly, given prizes, they would be given bursaries.
Wow.
They would have bags at Mengo as Achiever.
You got inspired.
I got inspired. I'm like, I also want to move on school campus with Achiever.
Everyone seeing me with Achiever.
Yeah, so I started associating with them, discussions, and that's how the game changed. And I never went back. Like, it became the same routine. Even my A-level. Now in my A-level is when I joined debate. Nationals, we won nationals, we debated East Africa, and then we represented Uganda and Africa at Harvard. That was like the maximum, the peak of debate.
Yeah.
And you know, all this time my teachers are like, you're going to decline. Why don't you focus on books? I'm not in class.
Wow.
I did German at A-level, so I also used to go for German exchange programs. So I was hardly in class, yeah. My parents had a concern, my teachers had a concern, but for me, I knew it's not just about academics, yeah. Even after the whole academic experience, after putting your paper, someone wants to know what more about you.
But when you're in secondary, really, I don't think that comes into your mind. How were you able to understand by that at a tender stage that it's not just about the academics, you need to balance it?
Then I don't want to lie that I knew it's not just about academics, but I was passionate.
About other things?
About other things. For debate, I don't want to say I was passionate, but I joined debate because I wanted to work on my public speaking and build my confidence. And debate was like really the ground, yeah? But again, one thing I realized about me that I always picked from our head teacher then, Mr. John Fred Kazibwe, right now he's at Budo. He used to say, whichever thing you do, you have to do it to the very best of your ability. Even if they're just two things you're doing in life, just stand out in them, yeah? So that's why in academics, in leadership, in debates, I've always done my best to stand out and, you know, yeah, she's in debate, not just being in debate and no one knows you're in debate, yeah? And later on when I got to Harvard, that's when I realized it's just not about academics, yeah. So I got the exposure through the exchange programs. You associate with people, same age group, but the things they've innovated, there is more about them than just class. And sadly, in Uganda, it's about class, and that's why 20 years down the road, you find like the brightest of
nowhere to be seen.
Because there's no room for them to be innovative, to do something else, to make use of their brains. Yeah, so that's how. Now when I that was in my senior 5. When I come back in Form 6, I knew to be outstanding, I still have to excel in academics because it's still key, and I still have to keep on with leadership and community work because outside academics, that's what I was passionate about doing. I used to think to myself, up to now I still think, we're all studying, we're all going to school, we all want to be the same things, yeah? You know, growing up we used to have the same professions, pilot, lawyer, doctor, more or less the same professions.
The common ones.
Yeah, so I'd be like, why would they give me that job and not give the other person the job? So my excellence then was, and even associating with people that had like similar goals would show me that for even them, they knew that for us to be here, we have to put in effort. And then I also used to come from a humble background, so being on a bursary would help me stay in school, and maybe the money they would hustle to keep me in school would go to my other siblings. So it would be like, and then government scholarship, you're like, yo, my parents will not have to pay, why not me put on the hard work?
Why don't I maintain this?
I get the free education and then I finish. And most importantly, there's a time my mother fell sick. That was around my senior 4. So I asked myself, God forbid if I lost a parent, would that mean that I'll leave school? So for me it was an opening, I think, moment. It showed me that there are opportunities around us that we can make use of and keep in line of chasing our goal. So that's more like my secondary life.
Amazing. When you say like that, someone would think, okay, so her primary was just a walkthrough, secondary was just a walkthrough, and it's all been well. What are those moments that you remember in your primary or secondary that were a bit so hard for you? The challenges you used to face a lot.
I've never wanted to talk about this, but in my primary I faced a bit of bullying. Yeah, and I think it explains the not standing out, excelling. I was shy.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think for secondary life, my biggest challenge was maintaining. Yeah. Yes, I wanted to be a, we students, like you can't.
So the bullying was in primary?
Yeah, it was in primary.
Why were they bullying you? Because of performing well?
No, not performing well.
Why were they bullying you?
Those natural, I don't want to call them natural because I really don't stand for bullying, but there are always kids that easily pick on other kids, especially if you're shy, and you can easily
They take advantage of that.
Yeah, which explains my journey later on in secondary when I decided to now be so active in leadership. I knew if I'm a leader, no one can really touch me. Touch me, I'm
Gaining
a leader.
the confidence.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. But in my high school, one of my biggest challenge was maintaining excellence and society expectations. Yeah. Among students, it's hard for you to excel and still be, I don't know, there is something that creates around you that
You're sent into Coventry.
yeah, something like that. If you're excelling, I don't want to say you're not associating with other people. There's a way other people pull back from you, you're labeled. And then for us in school, like the people I was associating with, they had a totally different off lifestyle from the rest of the students. So if I had to achieve, that means I had to neglect my social life. Yeah, you realize I had like 2-3 friends in high school.
So you didn't have so much of social life in
No,
high
I
school?
don't have a background of social life.
Wow.
And it's been a challenge because as a leader, I have to associate with people. Yeah? But sometimes excelling pushes you away from people. Yeah. So
they feel you're different.
They feel either you're different or you're just, it just happens naturally.
You're just not like them.
You just don't like them, and it's really sad. It's really sad. But in school, you would want to associate with as many people as possible. There are very many cases that used to happen in school, and I would be the #1 suspect that, because I had that close relationship with teachers more than I had with students.
So they would think you're the person who reported.
Exactly. You
that was always worse.
It was very worse.
No, I can relate to such kind of
Very
situations. They used to happen to a number of students. I can recall. And you wouldn't love to be in such kind of a position.
No one would want to.
Honestly.
And then for me, my relationship with teachers would be, now that I'm in leadership and debate, I'd be bent on the side of teachers, because I want, when I come back, I can consult, you can teach me. But it usually came out.
We never used to like such kind of students.
That explains
the
everything.
ones close to teachers, the ones who think we never used to like those.
And I had, my favorite teacher was Mr. Mpamire, the original, not this one. So there are times he would even give me his notes. So I'm teaching in my fellow class. So you
never used to like you.
You understand the environment. So it was my biggest challenge.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, I knew that I was in school I was not in school forever. I was there for a very minimal time, and I had to use it to get out with what I intended to get out with.
Amazing. Which combination were you doing in?
I did economics, so history, economics, and German.
That's literature in German, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So then you go to university.
Yeah.
How is your journey joining the university?
I actually joined university a bit late. I joined university a bit late. There's a conversation I do not want to have, but I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Wow.
I always wanted to be a lawyer. That explains the history and and why I didn't do sciences, my A-level. I always wanted to be a lawyer. So everything happened, whatever happened.
Yeah.
So now I joined MOOBS after a month. Now that month was me sitting down and really refocusing. Because in my economics, I had like 1-1, and it's a subject I really loved. Yeah, of course, after history. So after
history is first.
Yeah,
you need to make that loud. You need to make that shout out loud.
Whatever needs to be taught by Mr. Mpamire. He makes the class
you like the teacher.
Really. You don't know Mpamire?
I know
the
him.
Comedian.
I know him.
Now that's why reproduces what the original does.
I think we always like our history teachers.
Oh yeah. By the way, naturally.
They always a vibe.
Naturally, history teachers
Mr. John, it's a hands up for you. He was my history teacher.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I went through a couple of, you know how we grow up having visions, dreams that are really not guided. So that was the thing for me. But I really thank God I didn't didn't have to work 10 years to realize. Yeah. So I joined MOOBS after a month. They had started already, and blending in came easy because I connected with a few people and they helped me. But when I joined, I knew, one, where is the debate club?
At campus?
At campus, wow. Yes. Two, what's the leadership like here? And three, what is the grading like? What do I have to do to... So you obviously know like the whole, and for me personally, like I explained, my social life is next to zero. No, I have fun in my own way.
Even at campus?
I want to say I have fun in my own way, not in campus
for people that are even introverts, at least when they get to university, their life a little bit changes. They become a little bit more social. And
no, for me, I'm actually social, but I'm not a clubs person. I don't drink. No,
being social is about
no, you know, when you tell people you're from MOOBS,
they think it's that kind of...
Yeah, and you're from Akamwesi Hostel, there is a way...
It makes it worse.
They think you've been having fun in this way or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I joined the debate society. In my very first year, we debated till Pan-African level. That's like first semester, in fact.
Wow.
So first semester of my year, I had already achieved the peak of my debate. Wow. So I had to give room for other people. I became debate president. My class voted me guild representative, councillor. So what next for me was what? Academics, obviously. I knew what I had to do. I got a very good discussion group, and I had 5.0 for the first 3 semesters.
Wow. Yeah. So the end justifies the means.
Yeah. So by
the beginning,
so which explains why I say that if I hadn't maybe been in politics, I would have achieved my end goal, but I still landed among the stars.
Actually, they used to tell us that if you want a first class, you make it in the first semester. Yeah,
because campus, it's cumulative.
Wow.
Yeah, it keeps adding. Yeah. So I contested for guild president. COVID came in, so it was a very long campaigning journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you campaigned for guild president?
Yeah, from 2020 to when schools were open, 2021. Yeah, all campaigning.
Where do you get all that confidence to take on the mantle?
I know. I don't know. I think right now where I am, my ambitious self is natural, I want to say. Yeah. As long as I identify with the position I can serve, or that's like I explained in earlier that I love development, but from the business perspective, yeah? And which we do not have at university. We have leadership. If you're part of leadership and influencing policies, you're in teams that are debating what favors the people. It is shaping me in a way, yeah? And then, so for me, people keep asking, why guild president? Why not any other position?
Yeah.
Why not guild president?
Actually, most especially when it comes to the issue of you being a lady.
I was actually the only one. There were about 6-7 men.
You're the only lady?
I was the only lady in that race.
Wow.
And you know, when someone is like, why guild president? In my head, I'm like, why not? Why should I settle for something less?
Did they try like to convince you to take a lower position and leave it to the men?
Of course.
Wow.
It was really rigid. And given the fact that MOOBS has over 70% girls, there is a way girls also naturally respond to a girl trying to, the stereotype.
Do they support the girl child?
No.
Yeah, actually, that's what usually happens.
I don't know what it is.
It's very hard for women to support their fellow women.
Which is actually bad.
Very bad.
Yeah, very bad. Because we end up sitting on women that can actually contribute a lot in a society. Yeah, so that's the semester I declined. Not so badly, but yeah, I declined. I lost a 5.0.
Yeah. And
it showed me that now I had to re-strategize. How then would I balance? Because it was more than I expected. You would campaign from morning. By the time people are going back to your hostels, you're now going to their hostels. Yeah, it was broader than I ever imagined.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure, one, my roommate was my classmate, my coursemate. So I shared a room with her. And so every time I would come in and maybe off, so I would know, even at night I can have a few discussions. My discussion group, my degree is entirely for my discussion group. Yeah, because even through campaigns, I was usually number one. All through I was number one in my class. and they realize they can't be the best, but they can support me.
So was your
best.
group always the members were they always part of the best performers at campus?
Most of them had first class.
Ah.
So that the history of that discussion group, it was me. So when I joined late, I unfortunately fell. You know how you join university late, you just join any existing, and the discussion group was so bad.
Wow.
Honestly, there was this one time we were presenting, and I even whispered the answer because the lecturer was like, "No, enough of you, Julia. Can we hear from the rest?" None of them could say anything. I whispered the answer to the gentleman standing next to me, and he failed to say anything. So at that point, I knew if I'm to achieve my academic goals, I need to surround myself with people that can also help me. Not people that are draining me.
Oh yeah.
So after first semester, you realize who is good at who. I hunted down for every single person.
Cream de la cream.
I've not said creme de la creme, but
you
those
said
that
the
were
best.
focused. Yeah.
And you pulled them to yourself.
Yeah, you would find in our group we had one that was good at research, good at concepts, writing. Now this coursework that involved writing, you realize one is good at accounting. Everyone had their strength.
Now that's the leadership spirit that is leading you. Wow.
Yes, I brought the discussion group together, which is one of the very, very good decisions I've ever made in my life. Because if it wasn't for that group, I would never have achieved anything.
Oh.
Yeah, because my political journey meant missing classes, not once, but became a regular thing.
Okay.
But they held me and always came through to support me so that I would make it.
So how did the elections take you, the fact that you didn't go through as the guild president?
I lost the election, but they felt the energy, so I was appointed guild gender minister.
Wow.
Yeah, mainly to empower the girls into leadership and women welfare. Did a couple of projects, one safe space on mental health, one she leads in moves to mentor young
I think
leaders.
I heard about she leads.
And empowered to now that one is broad entrepreneurship, philanthropy, so that someone would do something else outside academics. That was the idea. And then, that's when I go for UNSA again. And you know, it looked like a crazy idea. Like, look at this
UNSA
ambitious
is the Uganda
person.
National Students
It's
Association.
a national election.
Wow.
You've lost university
Then
now.
you're going for national.
National.
Wow. Is that what they call being of ambitious?
That's, you know, at that point, even the people who look like they believed in me were like, no, this is some other crazy.
Wow. There is something pushing her.
Yeah, and you know the previous guild president before our regime had contested for UNSA and lost. So it was huge, and everyone would refer to him like a guild president lost, now you.
Then you think you're going to make it.
It was really a whole experience of being discouraged, but like I told you, as long as I sit and decide and I know this one is going to put me on a better footing somewhere, I'm going for it. So I went for it, and I proved them wrong. I was elected, and now I still serve with UNSA. I just served with UNSA, and then we have an advocacy, Faraja Africa Foundation. It holds together with very many, even parliaments of Uganda and different parliaments in East Africa. We have the East African Youth Parliament. It's just an advocacy parliament. Before I knew it, I was voted clerk of that parliament. So leadership-wise, I've also been open to growing and expanding my policy analysis and development, understanding people's needs, because I believe to get to the global level, I need to have a solid foundation of the people in my community. So that has been it for me.
Now, from the 4.91 CGPA milestone, now you have come to the real world of practicals of you know, we want to see what Julia is doing. A lot of students, like you've seen, that they say, we have seen a lot of people who have scored that and they are nowhere. Where should we expect Julia to go right now?
Right now, just like my professor said during graduation, I have a job with MOOBS. I'm going to teach. But most importantly for me is I want to pursue my further studies immediately. So I'm enrolling for next year's intake. And I want to study as far as PhD, so I'm still studying. But most importantly for me, it's a learning environment. I'm new in this world, but I want to make sure I stay focused. So in this case, therefore, I'm still surrounding myself with people that can support my ambitious self and push me. Now I'm still in academia, but my long-term plan, like I told you, I want to either work for World Bank, World Trade Organizations, those international bodies that influence economic policies in our countries, yeah? And to get there, I need a strong foundation.
Amazing.
There are people that have been there before, so I seek that mentorship online. I text random people that have never heard about me, but because I've seen them do things in the world that inspire me.
Yeah.
Fortunately enough,
reach
they
out.
respond. You send an email before you know it, they've responded.
You see, like we say, we are living in a global village. So when you send me a message, for those ones who are linked or on LinkedIn, at least you always see people that have viewed your profile and
Yeah.
stuff. So the moment you send me a message, the first thing I do before I reply
You
is to
view,
view your profile and see what's up. So it's easy for me to say I'm going to reply this person, or I don't need to. So
Yeah.
what's your last word to a young person out there in class?
a young person, I want to say your dreams are valid. Yeah, there is a lot of discouragement, especially in this country. Yeah, there is a lot of everything going on, unemployment. Sometimes you can get discouraged, but stay focused. Know what you want and allow yourself to be resilient enough to achieve it. Yes, you can. Just surround yourself with positive-minded people and people that have done it before, people that have been in such spaces before that can encourage you and advise you on what exactly is right for you to do to get there. And you'll certainly do. Believe God. It's key. Be a believer. Love God.
Thank you so much, Julia, for speaking to us, and congratulations. And here at Youth of Purpose, we wish you all the best in your next endeavors. We want to see Julia at the World Bank in the few coming years.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Ivan Tumukunde. Follow me on all my socials. I_Tumukunde on Twitter. Tumukunde on Instagram, Tumukunde on Facebook. Reach out to me and share with me your experience in as far as your academics are concerned. I do believe you have learned a thing or two from Julia's story, and you know how you can be able to strike a balance. She said there is no balance, but you have to balance the boat. One time it's this side, the other time it's the other side. So it's about you. It's about you to know how you balance the two. For the institutions of learning, please find ways to empower these young people in your institutions to make sure that they can be able to achieve their dreams. I thank you so much for watching this show. See you next time.
Youth of Purpose.